Alright, welcome back. Doing the canopy mounts, or pins I should say. This is normally, if you use the stock things, you're basically going to have a wire that runs from here all the way down to inside here. So this is the inlet area. So you'd reach in your inlet, pull the wire out, and that would pull the pin. You know, if it's like this, it'd pull it in like that, so you could release the canopy. I'm just going to put two of these little BVM, sorry to see, it's not focusing, these little latches. I wish I'd have got some different kind. You know, these are kind of hard to, they got a, gosh, why is it not, there we go. No? These have a small little pull on it, and they're real hard to pull back. And they're not very tall, so I have very little room, very little of this sticking out to grab onto. But that's what it looks like when it's kind of in there. So hopefully this will work. If it doesn't work, then I'll install either the stock rods, or I've seen people, they actually have like a piece of ply or something glued into here with a slit cut, and then they have a screw that they take on and off every time they remove the canopy. But I'm trying to make it an easy removal without having to have some kind of screwdriver, so this is kind of what I came up with. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, still, I don't know if the mail's run yet today or not, but I don't know if I'm going to get my glue. So the mount, the front's in, it's dry, so I can go ahead and mount the gear and go ahead and start cutting the gear door out, and maybe get the hinges glued in with a little bit of a high saw that I have. And then Monday, when the glue shows up, I'll be able to get back, finish up the couple little things, and then start with the equipment install. So I still have to add, let's see, these guys right here, they actually, okay, it'll glue in like this, and then you'll cut a little slit in here, so when you put the canopy in, the nose pin goes in the front hole, and then this kind of goes in and locks, and there'll be like a little reinforced G10 piece that you glue in on the underside, so this kind of sits on that and keeps it from coming up here. And then of course it's supported by the pins in the back, so probably can get all this stuff done today, just down to the little final things before I start with the equipment install. I had some people ask about the tanks, the size, about how much fuel it'll hold. It's 6.5 by 11 inches, so times that by pi equals your volume. So if you want to come up with your volume and then convert that to gallons, I mean, that looks to me over a gallon, or just at a gallon, so, or maybe a little less, but it's right around a gallon. So small engines, you'll have tons of fuel. Big engines, it'll be kind of a medium time flying without any kind of extra fuel capacity. So and I'm going to take this brace, this is the removal brace for that front bracket, and I'm going to glue, install the tank, put this on, and then drop some glue on that. So this piece will be glued to the actual tank. So I need to remove it, take those two screws loose, the back screw that holds it up against that back mount that I glued in. So 3 screws and the tank will slide out. So that's how that's looking. And then I drilled this is the screw-in cap, got the O-ring on it. It did have like a little nipple on the top and bottom. It's a smaller size inner diameter, so for the bigger turbines it's recommended that you drill it, put your own size in there, and glue it in with some high saw. So I bought Ooh, look at, man, just can't keep up with anything today. Oh, here we go. I bought these at Lowe's. It's a brass, and it's the inner diameter of this is the same size inner diameter of the high flow BVM stuff. And it's just a brass double fitting. So I roughed it up. I cut some slots in it to kind of help the epoxy hold. I drilled this out to the proper size, cut some, you can kind of see them, little slots in there to kind of give the epoxy some bite to it. And then I'm just going to glue this in with high salt. And it'll look like that. So this side will be going to your, I don't have to have all this. I can cut, you know, 2 of these extra barbs off and still have 2 barbs for it to attach to, and then your clunk line will be attached here. So I'm a big advocate of high flow stuff. I mean, so far I haven't had any issue with engines flaming out due to vent issues. So I mean, it's always better to go overkill, because I mean, this stuff, I got to make a run to get some brass tubing to drill, because I got to put I'm gonna put 2 vent lines in the big brass tubing this size, like I did on the Avani. This is what they had. It's glued in, so I'm just going to cap this off and then drill 2 holes and glue in my brass tubing here for my vent lines, and they'll run down to the bottom of the fuselage. So high flow, high flow, high flow. I mean, these bigger turbines that people are putting, you know, we're getting 200s now. It's more common. 200 plus. You got to have the high flow stuff. So even when I was running 170s, I still put high flow, because the easier you can make your pump have to work, just the better. So alright, well, I'm gonna mix up a little bit of glue, try to get these hatches glued in and cleaned up a little bit, our latches, and then I'll get another video later on today. But you guys take it easy.